Hi guys, welcome back to Journey Teachers. So today we have Dhruti with us, who was an ex-student at Christ University. So let's hear from her. Hi Dhruti, how are you?
I am good.
That's nice. Where are you now? What are you doing currently after Christ?
Yeah, so I'm currently in Pune and I'm doing my master's in economics from Symbiosis School of Economics.
Oh, that's nice. So, which course did you exactly study in Christ?
I studied Bachelor of Arts in Economics, Political Science, and Sociology that we call as EPS.
Right. So, how was your experience? Tell us, for all the aspiring students, I'm really sure that your experience would surely be helpful. Tell us
Mhm.
some, your interesting experience. How was it, and how did you get into it?
Um, so I think I would say the journey at Christ has been a roller coaster of a ride. There are definitely the goods and the bads. But I think when I look back now, I think I'm a proud Christite, and I really value the sense of discipline that Christ has really instilled in me. And talking about the student life, the campus, I think it's the best experience, hands down, I've had till date. The sprawling campus, the Birds Park, be it Nandini, be it Mingo's. I mean, I just wish to just go back and have a cup of filter coffee from Nandini even today. So I really look back and cherish at those memories. And I've been a person who actually balanced both academics and co-curriculars and extracurriculars. So if one moment you see me in class studying, the other moment I'm out doing a flash mob for CSA. So that's been my sort of thing at Christ. And talking about my course EPS, I think the course was very much well balanced and very much practical and theoretical at the same time. It was a perfect juggle between both. And this course, I would say, for people who are aspiring to do UPSC, I think this is one of the best courses I would say that Christ actually offers, because even I took this course with UPSC in mind. So if there are aspirants out here who are watching this video who want to do UPSC, can definitely take subjects like these, like economics, history, political science, sociology, because these are the subjects that we study for UPSC, and the syllabus as well is overlapping. So the textbooks, the course that we actually studied, for example, if I have to talk about one of our subjects, public administration, we followed the book called Lakshmikant, and that is the same book we study if you have to prepare for UPSC as well. So the course is sort of very much interlapping and overlapping. So I would say, yeah, I mean, it's been quite of a journey at Christ, and I really miss and sort of wish to go back to it.
Definitely. I think you have covered, a little bit of all the aspects that we are going to talk
Yeah.
about in detail. So let's
Mhm.
start with the, extracurriculars as you mentioned. So
Mhm.
how do people like you, because I know you are a dancer, you are a singer as well. So how
Mhm.
do you exactly manage your time efficiently along with studies? So what's your take on that?
Uh, I mean, I've always been a person who has been balancing extracurriculars and studies from my school days. But I feel what's more important is to like prioritize what you're actually doing. So, for me at Christ, definitely Christ, is a pressure cooker. It sort of makes you like do both. It forces you to do both, even if you don't like to. But for me, I was not forced to, because I was always used to doing. But what I really feel is that you need to prioritize on what you're actually trying to do. So if you have an exam coming up, or if you have a placement coming up, then give your 100% focus on that. But however, if you have some free time, if you have like few pockets that Christ luckily gives you in between, which is very hard to get, then go for extracurriculars. I mean, you're studying in the morning, then go for some activity in the evening. So I feel it's the right balance, not just only studying or just partying or playing is, I feel, is not a right balance to actually have in a student life. So one thing is to prioritize. You should know what to do when, and you should have a balance, is what I feel. So that's how I think I juggled, and I'm still juggling between extracurricular and my studies. So.
Definitely. And one thing I tell you that, always
Mm.
our faculty members always suggest that when you are in Christ, you don't have to just study, but immerse
Yeah,
yourself in other
exactly.
activities. You will
Exactly.
explore yourself more if you are a part of,
Exactly.
maybe some extracurriculars of your
Mm-hmm.
choice. You can explore your
Yeah.
interest areas, what you are good at, and what you like to do.
Mm.
So that it really
Exactly.
helps, for sure.
There's
Definitely.
an
So
overall development that's happening. Exactly.
exactly. So, a lot of our audience are people who are aspiring to join Christ, and some of them
Mm-hmm.
maybe want to do it in your course. So, would you
Yeah.
like to share some tips on the selection process? How was your application? How was your
Mm.
interview, the entrance test if
Okay.
it happens? So, along those lines.
Sure, sure. So, talking about my course, EPS, it didn't have an entrance exam. We just had an interview that we had to give. It was for around 10 to 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's been quite some time since I gave the interview, but how much I recollect from it, it was around 10 to 15 minutes. And one of the faculties interview you, and they basically, we have to first, of course, start off with a brief introduction about ourselves. And what I noticed was the interviewer actually questioned me a lot on my extracurriculars, because I feel Christ looks at a student who's very much well balanced. So they don't want someone who only plays and parties all the time. They don't want someone who only studies all the time. So they look in students who have both. So when I told them, they of course asked me my marks in 10th and 12th. They were pretty much satisfied with that. But then when I mentioned them about my extracurriculars, because I have obtained degree from the Karnataka government in Bharatnatyam and Carnatic music. So they were very much surprised with that. So they actually asked me what degree have I obtained, till what level have I studied that, how much of knowledge do I have in that, how do I balance both. So they were very, they want such type of students. So I would say you highlight your academics definitely, but as well give a lot of importance to your extracurriculars and co-curriculars, because that's what they look at in a student. So and definitely be very mindful of what you're telling in an interview, because they're going to catch the slightest and the smallest of the details and like counter question you a lot of times. So don't lie to them, and just be very straightforward to the point and tell them things that you actually did, and not, of course, lie. And we even had a micro presentation at the end of the interview, where the interviewer gave me a topic which had to speak for 90 to 120 seconds for that time frame. I think I was given, because since I started my course in 2020, the COVID had just started. So I got a topic on the impact of COVID on the economy and the society. So I had to speak 90 seconds to 120 seconds on that topic. So that's a micro presentation that happens. But however, if you're not comfortable with the topic, always ask him a second one as well. So yeah, this was around 10 to 15 minutes of a process. So it was quite a good, I would say, a very subtle and a good interview. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So from what I've got from you, interview was
Mhm.
mainly around your, the application which you submitted, your resume,
Yeah,
or maybe what kind of holistically involved you are in
exactly.
other
Exactly.
activities, and micro presentation
Yes.
could be subject related topic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So when you were applying, maybe when you were filling the application, would you
Mm-hmm.
want to, suggest some about some statement of purpose, or maybe what was your take? What strategies did you, take when you were
Mm-hmm.
filling the application, so that how do you want to present yourself as a student at Christ,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
what all did you keep in mind?
So the application form had basically my academic qualifications, definitely the 10th and 12th, my marks and whatever subjects I studied and all of that. And basically, I marketed myself in my application form as a person who balances extracurriculars and academics. So wherever I go, I tell this as my, what do you call, USP, the unique selling proposition, telling that I am a person who tries to balance both extracurriculars and my academics very well. So even in my application, I did fill a lot about my extracurriculars, as I told about my dance, my music. I told them about how a lot of I've been volunteering in a lot of events in school. So and I even highlighted a lot about my leadership, aspects as well. I was the head of the art club in my school, so I try to highlight that aspect. So they want, such type of students who have a holistic, sort of an outlook towards in general, in as students. So that's what I sort of try to create an image in my application and in the interview as well.
Right, definitely. So I really liked how you told that you marketed yourself in such a way that
Yeah, I
there.
market myself like that.
Yeah, obviously we have to do it because universities these days not just cries for
Okay.
everybody, like they look
Mm,
at a lot of other activities which are really involved into.
exactly.
And I
Very
can
true, very
see
true.
already one question coming from the audience, like if they when they see this video, that what if we don't
Yeah.
have extracurriculars? So guys, you
Mm-hmm.
can just mention whatever you have because every person has some
Exactly.
kind of their
Yes.
CV built in such a way that you have something or the other. So whatever you have
Hmm.
done along with your academics, school life, whatever
Yes.
participation you have, you can mention that.
Hmm.
So
Exactly. Or you can even mention, I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, you can even mention that, even if you don't have anything to your credentials, you can obviously tell them that I believe that this university will give me a
yeah,
platform to sort of start, and hone my skills. So if you don't know something, then you can probably learn it in that university.
yeah,
So give them a positive outlook that how you'll contribute to that university.
yeah.
So that's what they want students to contribute in any possible way. So if you don't have anything, tell them that you'll develop that in the university. So that's how you sort of tackle such type of questions. Is yeah, I feel.
Definitely, that's a really good perspective. If you show them you
Yeah.
are willing to learn, they would
Yeah,
definitely
exactly,
care for you.
exactly. Yes.
So let's talk about the course curriculum. How did you find the
Mm-hmm.
department? How was the faculty? Was the course
Mm-hmm.
really worth it? So what do you have to say?
I feel at the end of 3 years, definitely the course was very worth it because what I expected was exactly what I got out of the course. Because I had UPSC in my mind as one of my areas that I actually want to even now, do. So the course was exactly what I wanted. It had very strong theoretical foundation and base because of economics, political science, sociology. It gave us the basics of all these three subjects. It was a unique, I felt, a blend between all these three subjects. There was a lot of interdisciplinary, uh, aspects being taught to us where all of these three courses came together, and we actually were sort of like surprised at one point of time, telling, oh my god, like how can three subjects be connected so beautifully. So any one incident that we took in the past, and they gave us three different perspectives to the same incident. So it sort of, I felt, modified our way of thinking at the end of this course. And talking about the course structure, we had different types of subjects. Of course, it's going to be hectic because it was a triple major course that I did, and then we had three different subjects, two papers in every subject, and we had languages as well. So it's definitely going to be hectic, but I think it's really going to be worth it at the end. Especially, again, I'm stressing on the point, if you want to attempt UPSC, then this is a very, very good course. And talking about the placements, if I have to talk about, then the thing with my course was most of my course mates came with the intention that either they'll go for higher studies or they're going to like go for UPSC. So to be very honest, only hardly 4 to 5 students actually sat for placements from my course out of the 75, the batch size that we had. But still, people did get placed as financial analysts and many other type of roles in companies like Zomato and PhonePe and all of those things, because we had economics, which actually companies that look forward to, in the market currently. So I feel the course has been, quite a hectic, course for 3 years, I would say. But I think it was really worth it at the end. Like I got what I wanted.
Right. Okay. So I think this is still relevant for our juniors because according to NEP,
Mhm.
there isn't triple majors, but that's dual major.
Yeah,
But
dual
still,
majors.
the subject combination kind of remains the same. So
Yeah,
whatever the career
exactly.
opportunities we talked about still are
Yeah,
applicable.
absolutely. Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the disadvantages. What is something that you don't even like
You
at all,
don't
and
like.
you would like suggest for the course maybe to improve, or maybe in college that juniors would want to keep in mind before joining.
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, the course, I knew what I was signing up for. A triple major course in three subjects. I knew it's going to be hectic, it's going to be bad. So I wouldn't blame the course, because the course has been actually very extensively planned out and very well chopped out and planned out, with faculty being very supportive, very helpful. All the faculties hold a PhD and they're very good at what they're doing. So each and every faculty, I would say, have been extremely good with imparting education to students. At least the faculty I've got touch would have been very, very good. And they actually helped me, develop an interest in that subject. They never made me feel something was quite boring. Otherwise, a subject like sociology, I thought I'll just sit in class with my like eyes wide open, but then it never happened because the faculty was so engaging and interactive. um and talking about the assessment patterns, etc., it's going to be hectic. Every week there's going to be some assignments, some CIAs, that we call the continuous internal assessments. There's going to be NSEMs, midsems. So it's a big process. It's a hectic process. It's just that how you are going to take it, and how you're going to balance. And one major thing that people talk about Christ is the attendance. It's 85%. So if you are a person who just can't attend classes, or you're a person who's lazy, who's not, who doesn't want to be punctual to classes, then Christ is definitely not the place. Because mind me, it's very hard to maintain the 85% attendance. Like, I have lived the life and it's not easy. Because even one class, you missing one class will actually drop your attendance by a lot of percent. And they just don't, the management just doesn't allow you to sit for an exam even if your attendance is 84 point whatever whatever. So it's that strict. So that is one thing. And the another aspect is what I've heard from a lot of my friends as well. People who are preparing for competitive exams, I feel Christ will not be a good option for them because they have to devote a lot of time for preparing for competitive exams. And Christ is a very hectic schedule and a life. You have 9 to 4 classes, you have assessments happening all the time. So you can't do something else with Christ. So I've had a lot of my friends who took up BCom courses in Christ, but they wanted to do CA and they couldn't balance both, so they had to drop out of Christ. So I've had students who wanted to do UPSC and then Christ at the same time didn't happen, so they had to drop out of Christ. So if you're a person aiming at competitive exams and you want to come into Christ, I think it's a bad idea and a combination. So, and yes, rules are very strict. Dress code is to the point, you have to be. And security guards are going to haunt you all the time. They've haunted me as well. But I think if you sort of follow the rules, and if you're quite a good and a student, disciplined student, I don't think it'll be that hard to manage in Christ. An ID card is a must all the time. It has to be with
Yeah.
you all the time, otherwise you don't get entry. So yeah, overall, I think there is goods and bads to it, but I think I would love to take the positive aspects of it back with me, in my life. So
Sure, definitely. And we really need to acknowledge both of the aspects. And I think the juniors are independent of making their own choices, considering all these
yeah,
factors. And since
exactly.
you guys are already aware about this, so it will
Mhm.
not be much difficult for you to actually join Christ because you already knew that, you are signing up for this and there is
Yeah,
a policy which has to be followed.
followed
Okay.
exactly.
So that was it. Let's conclude the interview with whatever you have to suggest to the juniors, whatever tips you want to give to them if they're joining Christ, because this is the peak time of admissions also. They might be
Yeah.
nervous. So, as an alumni, I think
Mhm.
we really need to hear some, motivation from you. So, let's hear.
First of all, I would love the way you called me an alumni of Christ, because I've always heard myself being a student of Christ. So now hearing that I'm an alumni of Christ is really overwhelming for me, I think, because I think Christ's journey, to be honest, I was very apprehensive to join Christ. And just because it was in Bangalore and Bangalore is like my hometown, I joined Christ, to be honest. That was one of the reasons itself. But I think I don't regret one bit, because when I'm in my current college, I just keep flaunting about how Christ has, sort of built values, instilled that discipline, and all of those things. So for the students who are joining Christ, I would say, guys, it's going to be hectic. It's going to be hard. There are going to be days where you're going to sit down and cry. You're going to rant about all the assignments that they're going to give you. CIAs, they're going to burden you with everything. They won't let you breathe. They won't let you, like, stay just quiet even for a minute. You have to be on your toes all the time. But you have to realize that the end result and a person that you're going to transform after you walk out of Christ is definitely for it's definitely going to be a very good, you're just going to be a very good product of what Christ will make you. So I think if you are ready to take up the challenge, and if you want to become a better human and better in terms of your academics and your extracurriculars, I think Christ is the right place for you. And wishing all of the people all the very best, whoever wants to apply to Christ. And I hope so, and I believe that you won't regret this choice, because I don't regret, because of course there's been both negatives and positives. It's not like it's Christ hasn't been all good for me as well. I've had my share of very bad experiences at Christ. But again, I want to see the positive side of it, and how it's Christ has actually made me to what I am today. Be it improvement in my body language, be it improvement in my communication skills. I think now the way I'm communicating, I think I owe everything of it to Christ, because that's the way, they gave me a lot of exposures to being research paper presentations or being attending conferences. So I think there's been a transformation in me, and I owe everything to Christ. So it's up to you. You know what it is. So if you want to be a better person, you want to like excel in any field, I think Christ is the place for you. So yeah, that's about it.
I really love when you said to take up that challenge. So I'm really
Yeah, it's a
hoping that,
challenge.
all the aspiring students consider it this way, that
Mhm.
of course
Yeah.
it is a challenge, but if you
Yes.
are once you are here and you are ready to take up that challenge, you will
Yes.
outgrow as a very improved version of yourself. And I always like to say
Exactly.
Christ actually prepares you for life, and that still
Exactly. It
stands true.
prepares you. Yeah, I mean, it's a proud moment, exactly. It prepares you for the real world. I'm not even kidding. This is
Right.
what people expect. So when you tell you're a product of Christ, you're an alumni of Christ
Yeah.
to job market, they actually think, okay, this person has been very disciplined. They know how to like be in whatever, whatever, because Christ trains you to be like that.
Yeah.
So they have this perception. So that's what it is. That's what the job market seeks, and that's what the real world seeks. So Christ prepares you for that. Definitely.
Definitely. And thank you so much. I must say that, your tips, your suggestions, and the way you described the course, the college, and everything, it was really helpful. And I'm really sure that, people watching must have got a lot of value out of it. And
Yeah.
whatever questions they'll have, they'll drop in the comment section, and we will get back to them. So thank you so much
Sure,
for
sure.
sparing time. And it was really wonderful to have a conversation with you.
Thank you. I love this too. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.